Yes, we're back, keeping the ball on the ground. What was that you were saying there, Kev?
Forget sponsors, forget anything. Peterhead, back to you.
No, we can't just talk about Peterhead and we win, man. Every time I get beat, doesn't it get mentioned as soon as I win?
Is that the first win you had since you said you were going to win the league?
It's mate, it's still early doors, eh?
Aye,
It's still tight.
I heard for a good source that you were unbelievable in the first half.
I heard the first 30 minutes the best style of football, no joking. It was
best football, 30 minutes, best football League One's ever seen.
I've seen, somebody said that the other day.
Who was it?
I can't remember who it was. Genuinely, I spoke to somebody. It was after it was at that. It was at the. No, it was at the car park, wasn't it?
That's right. Aye.
Who was in the car park?
No, was it? It was at genuinely.
With the lights flashing? That sort of car park.
Aye, so no, they said excellent, but no, listen.
Fair play, Danny Lyon, mate. What about this? I love this. Lower League. 2 subs in the first 8. Made a sub in 18 minutes, made a sub 22 minutes.
Aye.
Because it wasn't going right for him.
Must have been playing well then.
Tells you everything, that.
I like that for manager, because managers can have that wee arrogance where they say, I'm not changing anything, but no, good one, Danny Lyon.
Bathing 8, bro.
Mixed with Gucci, aye. It's that new edition, innit? Mixed with Gucci.
How much was that?
Grosvenor, innit? Grosvenor's involved with it as well,
Oh
innit?
my God, it's expensive.
Grosvenor, they're an end now, aren't they, Grosvenor?
Aye.
Got Clay's an end.
Yeah.
Aye.
What's
They've got a full section there.
full flare. What's the bottoms? Check that label, Kev. Check
No,
the
they're Zara, but see, I see ones that's trousers, but they've got the joggy chokers. Do you know what I mean?
Stretch ones.
I don't like
Charlie
them.
Austin's, mate. That's what he used to
I
wear.
don't really like them, do you?
Bit chavvy, isn't it?
Not me, mate.
Elastic bands at the bottom of the jeans.
Shocking, that. Here, by the way, food challenge, mate, wasn't it?
Oh, food challenge was good. You were pathetic.
Oh, I seen you were doing the food
Oh,
challenge.
it's your mate, innit?
Aye.
Mate, a guy done it?
Boy.
I know somebody done it.
What'd you win?
A heart attack, innit? There's about 6,000
You didn't say that on the motor on the way here. I hate that.
It's about 6,000 calories. What's this guy?
Kevin, good weekend at the Transmit you in the jet? Was it
No,
North
mate,
Pitch?
I was there. I had to cancel. I was in Liverpool for a stag, wasn't I?
Oh, were you?
Oh.
Any stories for us?
Wow. Went to Met.
Mate, that bar that
What face, mate?
Kept thinking about the toilets.
Every 10 minutes she's going to the alley in the back.
Where's that
It was a heavy weekend.
What is that?
Liverpool someplace, by the way.
Brilliant, innit? Where'd you go, Matthew Street and that?
Aye.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the pub was called, but it was fucking magic. Guy playing the guitar all day.
Oh, that's the best, innit?
Uh-huh.
We need to find this guy for Liverpool, don't we?
Do need to find
And
that
get
wee
him
guy.
on.
He'd be a great interview, wouldn't
It
he?
was brilliant.
What about you, Transmit with Liam G, bro, innit? You were hanging with
MG
Liam
backstage.
G.
Sorted backstage, aye, just for his. Got asked to go a few other acts before.
Who else was asking you?
Chemical Brothers, wasn't
Do you have the Pretty Green on?
they? Green, aye, Umbro / Umbro.
Pretty Green
Me and
Brigade
Gerald
one,
Bryan,
you bro.
man. Me and Gerald Bryan didn't get in, no.
What about Lavolpe?
I know.
Embarrassing.
Gutted, man. Had to isolate.
Did I tell you, mate, most nervous experience in my life, walking Halangi Street, iced coffee, relaxed, looking about to see if there's any fans or anything that notice me. Look up, Craig Beattie staring at us.
Oh, you said that. I texted straight away.
Oh, mate, I have never shat myself more than this. But where I was in the street, I was like myself. I can't run.
I seen you now.
He clocked his, but he was holding something and he was peeking round it. Do you know what I mean? Like just
Pubes? Was he holding pubes?
a bag of pubes.
Imagine that, just a big bunch of pubes.
No, he walked up to us and he was just like, brand new.
But he did say, can I be coming from the pubes?
I leave my pubes with it. Hey Arnold, you can go with Hey Arnold's grand if you want it. But he's not, he's like, to me, my new job is I'm with the PFA, he's like, it's a nightmare because my mates every Tuesday saying you're getting abused with Slaney again. But I can't say it because he's doing the PFA, but no, I mate, took it great. I also promised him a hydro ticket.
Good guy.
Aye, really good.
Did you promise?
I set you up there to slaughter him as well.
Mate, he offers everyone a hydro ticket, man. A guy messaged me on Instagram saying, alright, Si, not total random, met Slane in the tune, he says just to message you for a hydro ticket.
Everybody's getting, there'll be a big queue of people outside that. Try it in.
He's buzzing. Slane's left me 2 weeks.
2 weeks, well, 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks on Sunday.
3 weeks. I can't wait for this Peter Reid story, mate.
Oh, with the slips, man.
Honestly, wait to hear this.
We were talking about it before and we were saying about drinking before you go on. Some people, we can't do that.
I said that.
Are you doing it sober?
No, I'm here, mate. I said to him, I was saying to him on the way here, like, if I'm mad with it, like, I can feel that I'm mad with it when I'm talking. Like, my mouth's actually mad with it. Like, so I can't speak. So there's no way I can drink before the show, no chance.
Oh, so not even a couple of beers now? You
I'll
were
be
Kevin,
a few beers, fucking
No,
right. Because I had to build myself up for the whole, like, 2 minutes I'll speak.
No, you'll be more than that big, man.
No, you're standing.
Well, no,
you're not the you've got a seat. We've got you a seat. I think you're about the third row back. Did you enjoy doing it?
We'll set them up nice for a couple of stories, won't we? It's all right, boys.
Got you a wee steward's job, mate. Wee steward's job.
It could be worse.
You'll be fine, big man.
I'm
telling you,
looking
the Peter Reid story will be the best story.
See, he was like this every night for the eye show and he was MVP for a month.
I know.
Boys, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. What an experience.
But the way you explain that, how Peter Reid gets his legs out his head like that is brilliant.
That's a bit of captures imagination in it.
It's a punchline in it.
Brilliant.
What's the punchline again? Volvo for sale?
Was that Peter Reid?
I seen it. Sorry,
are you not going to mention Grosvenor?
Aye, here we go.
But Emma thingy, but got beaten the American Open as well, wasn't it? What'd you call it?
Emma
Raducanu.
Raducanu beat her in Grosvenor in the final of tennis.
I bet they weren't trying that.
Check the latter one.
Beat Transmit 4-0 at the weekend. Fire, man.
Treble odds again.
Any odds, any bet, any sports? I mean, if I had to say to you three right now, what sport you would pick apart from football, what would you go with?
What, that you could be a pro in?
Aye.
Golf,
boxing, hard as fuck, innit?
Boxing, I've seen you, aye.
Golf, it'd be golf.
Golf.
Golf, aye.
You don't play golf?
I know. But I would like to. What would you, Slane, you?
Tennis.
Tennis?
Tennis,
I heard
Djokovic can beat 3-0.
That's quite a tennis look.
I know.
Aye, just before I warm up.
There was a rumour there was a big game at
Beyond
tennis down at Kelvin Grove at the weekend.
With who?
Slaney was playing.
Got beat. Tie break.
Who were?
I can't disclose
Is that back on?
Aye, my fucking.
Was that the only ball she was playing with?
Tie break, mate, I lost. It was up 5-3.
In a tie break?
And then, 5-3 in games, and then it went.
What's she tie you up for?
That's it, no point. I get it.
So she moved on, she went for football to tennis,
Yeah.
It's just horny playing tennis as she was.
There was no horny at all. Simon, sign up now to Grosvenor Sport. You know you're in for big things.
Big weekend for Paul Slane. Congratulations. He's now stepped into Dominic McKay's squared toes slip-ons. He's a new Celtic chief exec.
I seen it, he was playing for St John's the other day, I know.
Yeah, how are you combining all this?
You were decent for St John's by
Mate, you know, it's funny, no, that ain't.
Mate, that is your
that's a doppel gang.
That's your Motherwell, mate. That was your Motherwell squad photo, wasn't it?
Do you know what's funny though, right? We'll have a laugh, right? But see when I get home and I think, through the years I've been open goal, the lookalikes I've been getting, it starts to ring a bell in your head. I must look like that. Do you know what I mean?
Who's the worst you've had? Crawford?
Be Crawford's up there, isn't he? Who else have I had?
Chadwick's
up there.
Alec McLeish's boy.
I can't remember who else. But no, that does a lot of media, doesn't it?
Are you surprised he had Dominic McKay's out?
I'm actually no surprised.
How come?
Just because I don't think he... I don't know. I just think that... big job, Si. Big boots to fill. Regardless of what you think. I think that over the time Peter Law was there, the amount of success they had, you have to come in on the back of losing 10 in a row and trying to get the right signings in, spend the right...
But did he not do that?
Well, has he? I bet he's just a guy. Well, time will tell for the right signings. It's still early in the season. Some are questionable, I would say.
What signings?
I think there's a couple that need to show a wee bit more than what they've done.
Right.
But no, I think coming from a rugby background, football is completely different. I know it's sport. I know it's business.
Supposedly he couldn't get over the rugby thing, eh?
Aye.
It's like
John Keogh got to do better in the scrums and that. It's weird, wasn't it?
It was like Ray Finkel's mum and she kept shooting laces out, didn't he?
Aye.
Mate, to be fair,
see when the ball went to the bar, he was doing that, wasn't he? At Celtic Park, he thought they got points.
When he tried to sign Johnny Wilkinson, that was the last straw on it.
The last straw for Desmond was he offered Kelly £5 million, didn't he?
Is that right?
For the naming rights Rugby Park. They wanted to call Celtic Rugby Park.
But we need to cover Simon, obviously, just if it's personal reasons, we'll hope he's all right, and if it's all right. But
well said, Paul.
Do you know what I mean? Just listen. I think we've realised in our lifetimes that football is just a game, innit? And anything outside of that's more important. But listen,
it was a strange appointment, though, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have, I know nothing about this stuff. Why do you think it was a strange appointment? Because he'd never been involved in football.
He's got a rugby background.
That was sorry, Kev. That was the thing about when he came in. Obviously, it was working with Scotland national team, innit? But you don't make transfers there, or it's just Scottish. So I couldn't understand the experiences there.
The thing is with the chief executives, most chief executives, if you look at where the older backgrounds, none of them would really came from like a footballing background. Like originally, if you think of maybe the guy at Aberdeen, the chairman there, I can't mind his name. Dave Cormack. He's not come from like a previous football club football experience to be the chairman or whatever.
I thought he played about 1,000 games away, he talks, so
Aye, but that's the problem with some chief executives. They think they know too much. Whereas I think with this role as a Celtic one,
was a wee bit easier in terms of Celtic had to go out and buy players. There was no other option because they lost so many players. They had so many players unknown. It didn't matter who came to the door and said, look, Dominic, we need this, this, this and this. Somebody had to give them the green light to go and get them, because if they didn't, Celtic fans would have been all over it. And I think you had to just agree and accept that that's what Celtic would have had a budget of what they could bring in, what they could get out. And as long as that balanced up okay, it was always going to be happening. I think that Dominic McKay would never have been saying yes to him, because no football knowledge. It would have been past the call, would have come to him and said, look, this is who I want. And that he just said, right, go and get him. If it fits the bill, fits the criteria, then we take him.
See, outside the players that they signed, which again, I think it's too early to judge the players, but the fact that there's still no director of football, there's still no head of recruitment.
No, that's...
And then the Gordon Strachan decision was a wee bit strange for me.
That was mental.
That was. And I think when the first press conference as well, when he was saying about, we want to make... He was talking about this, lots of stuff, bit too much. Just concentrate on the team, what you've got to do. I don't know if it was just... Maybe it was too big for him, I don't know.
So where did they go now? Where do you go and get?
Scotland's hockey, didn't it?
Hockey. You've seen it, you've seen it, hockey stick.
Judy Murray and that? Tennis. Imagine Judy Murray with a suit on at Celtic Park.
Do worse.
Picture them at Celtic Park.
Who do you go? So you saying you go and get a guy with a football experience? Do you go and take somebody for another club?
No, I think you obviously, I think they've got time this time, in terms of, I know that guy, he was supposed to start later in his tenure, but he came in a wee bit earlier. But I think this time the windows have passed. There's nobody going in and out the door, so they've got time to do a wee bit more due diligence. And
Tam Courts.
Well done.
Oh man, Tam Courts is like that.
Started early.
He's curling his toes up with it.
there'll be
Toes like that.
He's like that and he's living it, isn't he?
I think there'll be time for somebody out there. Big job, massive job.
By the way, I've got a name for you boys.
Right, go for it.
Gary Holt. Let's say what we're laughing
Get Holt in.
He's doing it at Falkirk, isn't he?
He got beat 2-0 for Hull at the weekend.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I could dive in bus on a Saturday. Two for one.
Your man?
Save money on it.
Save money, mate.
What about your man that's the SFA guy, Maxwell? Because he's a footballing background at Partick Thistle. Then
Would he leave? Do you think he would leave the Scottish
Well, he went to
job?
Scotland. You've got to then ask, is he doing a good enough job with the Scotland national team set up to maybe merit? I'm just trying to think of somebody within that would know our game, know the ins and outs. I'm not trying to champion that, know that he lives around the corner. But no, I just think that Celtic will come up with the right person and it'll take time.
But even if he's not a fit on person, that's fine, because if you're brilliant at what you're brilliant at, if it's money, then you bring the right people in around about you. Let them make the football decisions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you think he wanted to do too much himself, Dominic McKay, instead of going to appoint a director of football and then going to appoint a head of
Take
recruitment?
set pieces and that, stupid.
Deal
Deal with the business.
But the thing is, with Ange Postecoglou just being in the door the time he's come in, he probably needs to make a decision in terms of, does he want a director of football, and need to kind of come to a decision together.
But should that be the manager's decision, Kev? Because see, these big clubs, that gets taken out the manager's hands. See, if you think of Bayern Munich, there's the director of football comes first, and then he picks managers. And do you know what I mean? So is it up to a manager or is it up to a chief exec?
I think nowadays, even you look at Man City, and the manager just deals with the
players,
and that's his. And I think I would probably prefer that as a manager, because sometimes you can get to be doing far too much. Looking at this and doing that, you concentrate on the team.
Speculation, but I wonder who has been doing Celtic signings in the summer. During the summer.
Didn't know.
When they had the recruitment director for Ange Postecoglou coming in, not really known. Probably British-based players, so like the boy Gidi, is it?
Yeah.
For Sheffield Wednesday.
Shaw for Sheffield Wednesday. Like,
the thing is, I don't think the chief exec needs to be from a footballing background, but somebody, if he's coming in, somebody that, like a director of football, has to have some sort of knowledge of how a football runs, with you saying director of football and stuff like that. One of the two has to be.
Because the Jet, I'm not making a joke.
No,
does the Jet do it at Hearts?
Well, I don't know if he still does, but he
was
did.
doing it, wasn't
that's
he?
why, because like I spoke to him about it, and he said that like Anne's an unbelievable businesswoman, but in terms of the day-to-day running of a football setup, what they needed, she didn't really know. So that's why Craig Levein was there, and then obviously the Jet coming after him. But no, I don't think there's a panic there. I think the guy's obviously made a decision that it's maybe just no for him.
Yeah. Have you ever had conversations with chief execs and stuff like when you played?
I lost. And it's the most awkward.
It is, isn't it?
I don't know, it's just different worlds, mate, innit? Shooting and beauty, I don't know. I can't even remember an actual player, but I remember sometimes before games or something they'd be wondering about. Oh, mate, they just looked... I don't know if they looked at a piece of dirt or it was just... They just didn't understand.
Awkward sometimes. It is awkward. It's as if like they know who you are, they're employing you, but they don't really know anything about you.
They're just looking at you as a pound
Just to say, right, okay, so who's this guy again? But nah.
We had a chief exec at Swindon, we were struggling, and we were going to play MK Dons away, and he came on the bus, he's pure nice guy, Nick Watkins, lovely guy, like pure Southern English guy, specs, baldy head. He came on the bus and he's like, you guys will get us out of this, I have no doubt. He says, I've written you all a personal letter and I'm going to hand them out on the bus. So he comes, he gives me a letter. Jonathan Douglas is sitting next to me, our captain mate, who was fucking wild, Jonathan Douglas. He gives Jonathan Douglas his letter. And Dougie looks up at him and goes like that. Flings it down.
Right in front of him.
Mate, guy went absolutely...
That is shit, man.
So just fucking ripped the letter up.
Too very rightly so. What is he doing?
At the time I thought that's harsh, but see when you do that, what is it chief exec doing? Leave that stuff to the manager, man.
Yeah. See, if you're a manager, you'd be raging if you're the manager, wouldn't you?
Imagine it just every note says manager, imagine the note was just like cock signs or something, just drunk cock in a bit of
would be if you do it. You've got ADHD and stuff like that, mate.
He has. What about you, Kev? Ever get Michael Johnson, didn't it? At Kelly?
Oh, aye, he was... I had a run in actually,
Oof.
Oh my
Here we go.
No, I did not. What happened was that he phoned me one...
Says he kept smelling you after him, Jeffries, didn't he?
No, he phoned me one night after one of the games. He came to talk about a new deal, and I was like, aye, that's fine. And he says, well, we're unlucky on Saturday. And I just said something like, nah, we weren't unlucky. He says, well, we're pish. I says, unlucky is when something doesn't go your way and you lose a game. I says, we don't play well. I says, you don't. Oh, right, okay. So when you come down to talk about a new contract, would you like to talk about the manager's performance and stuff? And I was like, no. I says, that's not to do with me. And then obviously I phoned Billy and told Billy what he'd said, and that's kind of how Jim ended up leaving Kilmarnock.
What did Billy say when you talked with your agent?
I can't fucking believe it, What's he saying that for? What did he say? He says, you're right, Billy. No, I didn't really. No, so that was kind of it. And I just thought that some guys, you're better off just leaving the business side of things to that. Yeah. Don't get involved in the football side of things.
Do you know what else I hate? See if you're a manager and the press are asking you about chief execs and mate, I don't give a fuck, man. I just want to talk about football.
To be fair, Ange Postecoglou answered that question quite well, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying, it was good, wasn't it?
It was with Jank, Paul.
You sort of talk about football, didn't you? I've never seen, see the Celtic kind though. Other than the guy at Man United who gets slaughtered, I've never seen such scrutiny on a board. It's talked about constantly, is it not?
Aye.
Why is that? I couldn't tell you the Man City chief exec is, could you?
No.
Aye, it's that.
Chic.
Liverpool's, do you know what I mean?
Like the American guy, innit? Yeah.
No, they're the owners of stupid.
I know, chief exec.
It's constantly talked about, isn't it?
Even if you look across, obviously we're talking about Celtics, man. If you think about Rangers and where they've come from to where they are now, you know.
Who's Rangers?
That's what I mean. Nobody talks about, Dave King obviously was the man that got things back, and he's now passed the buck on to somebody else. But nobody talks about Rangers chief executive or why is the Celtic thing such a big issue? Is it because they've had a bad season last year and there is going to be a lot
of... Even before that, Kev, it was constantly talked about, was it not?
Or is it just because Peter Law was there for so long and everything was running fine that all of a sudden now it's like, I don't really understand it. I have no interest whatsoever.
So if you had to choose, Slaney, between, you're going to keep the chief exec job or you're going to stick with St Johnstone playing?
St Johnstone's still young, isn't it? Keep playing, aye. Devastated with this.
You do look like him though.
No, I don't.
You do it.
I don't, Andy.
By the way, the boy Carter Vickers a big boy, isn't he?
Boxer, isn't he, man?
Is he? I've only seen the highlights.
Oh my days.
We were talking earlier, Ange's been a breath of fresh air, but what I would say is I think I was disappointed that he never started Welsh ahead of Starfield.
I thought
Welsh has been absolutely excellent. Starfield a wee bit still dodgy.
But what you do realise as well is he's a manager who's put his neck on the line for a £5 million.
To spend him, so if he doesn't play, it's kind of
got to justify the money.
But with I think
otherwise, you come to a transfer window next and go, right, I want to go and get that midfielder for £5 million quid. Well, you bought Starfield, who's now not playing, so I think he needs to kind of persist on football. But again, I agree, Welsh must be.
But then I think as well, I think McCarthy, I'd started McCarthy on Saturday as well. I think in a game, I've also said in games where you're kind of home, you probably don't need that type of player. But he needs to get matches in his legs. And then you're coming up against Betis where the game probably suited for him to play. But if he's not played a 90-minute game, then it's a lot to ask him. Yeah. So I think you need to start trying to bleed him in. Rogic just played in China on Wednesday night, full game, flying all over the world. You know what that's jet lag's like, don't you?
Oh, brutal on it.
You don't want that. So what I'm saying is, it was time to get McCarthy in. Is he going to play him in...
You had no energy in your legs after an hour's trip to Amsterdam, so what must he...
Right, yeah.
Was that jet lag why your legs were so tired?
Yeah, you're right, actually, you're right. No, what I'm saying is, it's time to get the matches into his legs, because June McCarthy, right now,
He's a type that
is probably your number one...
Getting it back.
The number one in the team lineup if you're going away from home in Europe. That player is, I mean, the experience, I know he's not played in Europe, but I'm saying that he's played in big games.
No, I think he has played in Europe, Everton, surely, nah?
Maybe but then...
Are they not in UEFA Cup and stuff like that?
But then when he's played with Palace and Everton, you're going against bigger clubs, and they've got all the boss. When you go away, he's so important to say like that.
What's happened with Sorrell, by the way?
No,
he was an ex-club last year. Every Celtic fan that ever spoke, man.
But I think he was good for Celtic last year because Celtic didn't dominate the ball the way they do now. I don't think he's good enough in terms of how Celtic play now, do you?
On the ball, he's very good at getting it back, but on the ball, which Ange wants to be.
For that position where he plays, a McGregor type needs to play. Somebody who can go and take the ball in the half turn and play.
I'm 100%. I think McGregor's been the best player in the country by a country mile.
Country by a country, right?
And
yeah, he's lost a bit of weight. Supposedly he met Lee Mayer in the summer and he's...
We've got Herbalife for
24-day free trial, so...
Superb.
You know, he's
code Mearzo on offer 10% off anyone wants it.
Code Mearzo.
Code Mearzo on it. Jetty used it, didn't he? Wasn't he working with it, no?
Jetty took his goals well, to be fair.
He's a penalty box striker, Jetty.
He's mixing the powder in Edinburgh, isn't he?
I think he would be decent up front with somebody because he holds the ball in quite well. He gets that arse in the right place and you can roll the ball into his feet. But obviously, Kyogo's a big miss, but 3-0. Celtic had quite a lot of opportunities. The boy Jota cutting inside and then hitting shots with the legs.
Sort of full of diarrhea.
Fucking legs with a 3-year-old man. Mike Tom could have struck the ball harder at the goalie. Unbelievable.
Ross County had a big
He was just one of the flags, wasn't he, Jota? He just kept looking. No, the scarf.
But obviously, Slaney's picked it up there. Ross County had a couple of opportunities, man, where that like Celtic still defensively look a wee bit suspect. I don't know what it is.
How did boy deliver?
See the boy, the header, the Ross County player that went for the header?
Back across him.
Why no fucking stick your head through it? You're just like...
Back across the goalie.
Oh, it was terrible.
But then obviously getting into Thursday night now.
How are you lining up? Are you putting McCarthy in?
McCarthy starts. I think you can't play both Turnbull and Rogic.
Nah.
Carter Vickers play?
Carter Vickers is in. I think it'll be the same back four as Saturday.
By the way, Montgomery's going to be a player. Seen him a couple of times as a kid. Really good.
I would start maybe
really good.
I would start maybe bleeding him into first team play left back. I think he's
I think he could go be a left back.
Came on pretty early, didn't he?
Half time he came on, and even v Rangers I thought he'd done well when he came on.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen him, 21 Scotland, excellent. Probably the best young player I've seen come.
His dad Colin, obviously.
Colin's a big
sports background.
Yeah, so he's getting the experience, but he's dealt with. But no, listen, I think he looks excellent.
He's wearing Titleist boots, wasn't he?
Imagine that goal shoots.
You're on fire.
Gets a free kick, puts a tee in, doesn't he? Sticks it on the tee and just fucking leathers it.
He's my 5-iron.
You're on fire there, aren't you?
Pat got me used to, a coach used to do that. But free kick, you'd be like, no, that's a 7-iron. He just turn his leg out, 7-iron, punch it in. Brilliant, man. Fancy him Thursday week, Kev. Hard game, that.
Tough game.
Is it Pellegrini's the manager? Pellegrino, isn't it, the manager?
Pellegrini, aye.
No, Pellegrini, sorry.
I think if they just put on a decent performance, I think a point would be a great result. But you don't qualify in the Europa League in the first game, so you take what you can from it and try and get something. But it's going to be a tough game. I don't know. I think potentially they've got the defensively. I think there's always
potentially defensively. Actually,
but ultimately, there's always a mistake in that back four. So just need the more games they play together, the more they can bond. I just find it strange that what's this Vickers guy done? The more that they can straighten the team.
I think he was again. I was I was speaking to somebody last Brighton scout. He said that he was Bournemouth's best player last year. So. If you're going to play the way Ange wants to play, I think he's a perfect guy.
But we'll see if time will tell. But he doesn't look the biggest, but looks very astute. So we'll see time tell.
Height-wise, he doesn't look that big, does he? But
commanding, strong as fuck.
He looks like that.
Will they get a result, Paul? Yes or no?
I think so.
No.
I don't like going back. I don't think so, no.
Andy?
I think he could maybe sneak a draw. I don't fancy him to win just because purely... Betis must have been the 5th or 6th in the league.
How's Betis getting on in Spanish league?
The thing you worry about with Kyogo there is how do you press for the front? It's tough, isn't it?
Is he fit?
No, he's out for 7 games, I think.
That's a
Did
big
you see him at the side when Celtic scored?
Brilliant.
He's not on it. What a wee guy, man. Hero.
They're a big ass though. Go and get a win. They flying last year. I don't know how they're doing this year, but they beat 1-0 at Grosvenor at the weekend. But
remember they had Danielson?
Who's the one? See Roberto? Joaquin Phoenix. He was unbelievable.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't know why they went with him, do you?
Nah, no, it was weird.
Strange. Right, Rangers back on top after a comeback against St Johnstone. Great result, wasn't it?
Start with Andy, aye.
Aye, big result, but probably still not at their best, but it's always a good sign if you can win games when you're not great. St Johnstone still look good, solid, didn't they? And
very hard to break
off
down.
the fact that they've just lost arguably 2 of their best players. 600k for Jason Kerr, by the way. I'm sick of the way Scottish clubs are getting treated for their players.
So you think Jason Kerr should be more of a...
100%, especially these English clubs make the money they're playing in people.
Yeah.
1.2 million for Alan McCann.
Ben
a
White
bit more.
Ben White goes for 50
million.
and Kerr's gone for a 60-50. Doesn't make sense.
60-50.
It's not right. 60-50. It's not right, mate. But
fucking Junior Stanislas on £100 a week.
Shambles.
Tell you what though, it's a moment of quality. It should have won any game.
That's what I'm saying. See when you hear people say Patterson should play Eddie Tavernier,
Mate,
he's not at that level yet. A guy that can...
And see, to be honest, right, I've obviously praised him 1,000 times. Tav, I don't think Tav was at his best again at the weekend, first half especially. But what a goal that is, man.
That goal is ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous, mate.
It's how high...
At first I thought goalie should save it, but when you see it back...
Aye,
It's how high and the dip's just insane.
The amount of goals he creates as well. It's hard to take a player out of the team, innit?
Yeah.
Maybe, but you made a great point at the Celtic game. Maybe in games like that, in big games, you're not going to leave your captain.
Could you play... You need to leave out somebody really good in the midfield to put the two of them in together. For me...
Play him up one.
Maybe because...
No, I hate that shout, man.
For
as many... I hate that shout. No, I see the Trent Alexander-Arnold midfield shouts. I love shouting for
Klopp's right, innit? Why are you playing the best right back in the world?
For what Tavernier might not give you... Tavernier, might not give you sometimes defensively.
But it's a totally different game,
it's what he goes, see if I'm a forward playing in that Rangers team and you know that he's playing, the amount of crosses he's going to try and put in, the amount of chances he's going to try and create, it's a no-brainer, man. Patterson's obviously not that. Patterson's got an unbelievable future ahead of him and it's tough that he's got James Tavernier in front of him, but great to learn that for going forward. But like I said, the opportunity, the goal, bang, just a captain's performance at the end of the day, that's what you see. Maybe not played great the whole game, but when you're needing a goal, 1-1, I can't argue with that. Personnel-wise, Rangers have still got players that are getting a couple of levels in them, but Joe Aribo for me has been starting the season unbelievable. I thought he was so strong,
he's great in tight areas as well.
His feet are ridiculous, man.
I always judge a good player in tight and how they receive the ball under pressure. He's
I'm not even joking, right? Watching the game as well, that was like I forgot that Alan McCann was next to Johnson because the boy Ali Crawford, the boy Ali Slane kept trying to press and jump out to press for fun, and Joe Aribo was just close control, sidestepping them every time, popping at 1-2s.
What are you thinking?
I know, why are you trying that?
Trying to harden it.
Stay in your shape, mate. Know your role. But Joe Aribo, for me, was Rangers' best player again at the weekend. Kamal Roof, by the way.
Very good.
The goals he scored since he's been at the club.
How confused were you with the penalty spot in his head?
Mate, that's a bunker if I've ever seen that.
See when he grabbed the ball, I thought he was going to stick the ball.
You whack it
Has he gone bald or is he just...
Trav was off pens as well.
Got in a bag.
That was a strange one. Tavernier not taking it.
But he's missed probably 4 or 5 over the last few years now. I was happy to see Alfredo not take it though.
How was he rubbish at penalties? He missed that one, didn't he?
Even in training, man, I think he's never scored a penalty in his life.
Hits it with his shin, didn't he?
Aye, kicked it with his shin. Gone down heading it for the penalty spot.
He takes penalties the way Rab Douglas used to take goal kicks, didn't he?
I used to say about Rab Douglas, you ever got in a fight with him, let him kick you to death.
Big Rab, what a guy. St Johnstone, what a signing they made in Thomas Muller, but they're playing him centre back. He gives away a penalty. You're going to sign Muller and play him up front.
One of the top goal scorers of World Cup history and play him centre half.
But that's why Callum Davis is a genius, isn't it? He'll come good there. And he'll teach him to be a top centre back.
Definitely.
What has he done for the penalty, Tom?
He doesn't need to go to the ground, does he? He doesn't need to go to the ground. He just needs to shepherd them down, and if he turns and shoots and he goes through his legs or something, then you say fair enough, but he doesn't need to go to the ground.
No.
So Johnson they've actually started the season all right performance-wise, but just can't get
just results. It's results, isn't it? But they'll be all right. They've had
signed a new deal, didn't he?
Aye. Which I think's a no-brainer, because if he performs the way well, then they'll get a good bit of compensation for him if he wants to move on.
I'm surprised they signed it, to be honest. I'm really surprised Cam Davis.
You disappointed with him?
I just think that what he done last season and then these players leave for the prices left. You think, what was the ambition? Yeah. And I get these clubs in Johnston, they probably need to sell or whatever, but if I'm Cam Davis, I'm like, well, what am I want to stay for?
Has he been different about the place?
He is.
Has he?
Arrogant a wee bit. Very arrogant. So, don't know why he signed that deal. This Ali Crawford has to stop. It's really getting to me.
Who's Calf schooling with?
Who is in that team?
McCarthy.
Big McCarthy, aye.
What about Big Rooney? Big
Rooney?
Aye, no bad team.
It's all good players.
Good to see him back to that.
Aye, I know.
Great to see him back. Get for the Scottish game.
But I think we should stop now, because I feel as if he's getting a bit flat. This is when we need him at his best. And forget it's Saturday, 3 o'clock. We need him
Is
at
that
the best.
how you are talking about doing that thing at the Hydro with the two of them at the same time? You're getting Crawford in. And so it just looks like it's the same guy doing the same thing all the time.
He's doing a few stunts in it at the Hydro. It's Ali Crawford.
He's good there.
He's a stunt one.
He's playing a heated tennis.
Rangers take on Leon. Ibrox on Thursday.
Oh.
How should they set up for this one? I seen Dembele with an absolute belter, didn't he?
Aye. Still set up the same the way they've set up in Europe the last couple of years. But mate, Leon were the top seeds in pot 1. I'm surprised at that, you know.
No, I don't know much about French football.
Better teams in that competition.
So what I want to ask you is, you say they've set up as usual, will they, because they do switch this in Europe, will they set off?
4-3-3, narrow front 3.
No, but I'm saying press with the front.
No, set off.
Right.
They'll set off to the halfway line, jump press anywhere around the halfway line.
Jump press,
Two-
hands
two-
like that.
Oh, he's like that.
He's like that.
Turn his nipples.
Suffocating the space.
What about his one there? Are they crystallised?
Crystallise.
That is.
Wall Thomas.
We need a Tam Courts dictionary, don't we?
We need to get a dictionary here.
Crackers. Two wide ones that the front 3 just sit on Leon's 2 centre mids off the back of the shoulder though, because when we win it, jump forward at pace.
Who do you start? Who would you bring anybody else in, Andy, for Saturday? Scotty Arfield in.
Goldson if he's fit, obviously.
Moros.
Who's the front 3 again? Roof. Morelos, Ken.
Bob Malcolm, innit?
Bob.
Probably just Goldson.
Kent better right.
Potentially Scott Wright for Kamaru, even though I'm saying Kamaru's been a big player, big moments, but
can I ask you?
Pace for
Can I ask you why do you think why will they sit off the halfway line? I always think they're better when they go and press it for the front, high up the pitch now.
Because they'll still respect these teams that have got good players, and they can give it. They've got a better chance of hurting you if you're playing halfway line and pressing for goal kicks and that. But see, to be fair, it's hard for me to say because I've not seen Leon play. I don't know how they play.
Very good. Shaqiri
They're good,
Shaqiri did he?
He's there.
We fatters.
He'll be playing.
Biggest calves in football.
Oh my God, these calves are a joke, aren't they?
But I tell you one thing, Ryan Kent better liven up.
Right.
He won the penalty to that,
He got an assist for the second.
Assist for a second.
He's still getting levels.
For his level, he's no. But I don't know.
See how you said Roof for maybe right in for Roof? Would you not play Roof? Because I think he works hard. If you're going to be pressing
on the counter, Kev.
I know on the counter, but who on the counter is going to run away from maybe some of the Leon players? Scott Wright's not going to be that much quicker than Kamara Roof in terms of.
So you're going with Roof?
I would go with Roof because I think you're getting a lot of work rate. I think he gives you more work rate over 60 minutes. If you're still in the game, you might swap him for Wright and might have a different option in the last kind of half hour of the game. But Gerrard's set up the way he sees fit. He's obviously watched Leon more than us for, so he'll have an idea.
I fancy Rangers to win it.
Did you see the thing where Gerrard did that and then 2 seconds later Beale done that and then Gerrard done it again and Beale done it again? Brilliant.
Tune the fat.
Is that happening?
Amazing.
Stevie! Get away!
Brilliant.
Get back!
Brilliant. Right, Edinburgh Derby. Couldn't believe when the news came in it. 10 bells that the man wasn't playing.
Oh, I thought only going to bring it up.
Oh, but did you want to bring it up? But that's what I'm saying. Nielsen never told you, he just brought you in the office Saturday and played Killing Me Softly and this that. Every time you try to go to speak, you just done that in your lunch.
I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to sing it to you.
Did you get the wee curly finger no?
A wee couple of minute chat, just basically, but you don't know what I say, he's gone in it.
See that's
what it is. I'm old enough now to accept
take it on the chin, mate.
Take it on the chin.
If you see that as the worst, not a big game, you get told you're not playing.
Because see, if you get to Cully before, it's only one thing. And There's nothing else other than you're not
Nobody's
playing.
pulling you to tell you, I want you to do this, I want you to do that today.
Especially if you've played every game, they're not going to pull you to say you're playing every.
But wait, what is that a shout for the dressing room or is it just on the training ground?
No, it was Jig actually. It changed him from the guy first scene. I was like, tell him.
See on the way up,
at 5 o'clock.
Did Jig walk up? You see on the way up, you're like, mad drop to Jig and he doesn't want to get in.
No, I just went. And you know, if you get that shout, you know.
Was that, we obviously been doing shape through the week, did that?
Nah, we never. We done shape, but everything was mixed.
Did you not have an indicator at all? Well, that's football. Sometimes you can't fathom why. The best thing to do is just forget about it and wait for the next opportunity.
Listen, you're obviously gutted, man. You're obviously unhappy, but like I said, I'm 29 now, man. Had multiple experiences that now. I should be used to it. So,
the worst thing about it is, mate, how many times you need to warm up, man. Well, we've never spoken about us. Fitness coaches, mate, it's like 10 minutes in, like, go on my mat. Why? I know. Why? Do you know what's the worst as well? See what us at the camp, see you Swindon, the fitness coach used to come out with you to warm up, mate, and it was a fucking blow, man.
At half time, ours does as well.
While the game's going on, mate.
Oh, right. No, nonsense. Coming off the bench is the hardest thing. Especially when games like that.
You're bored at your home, man.
Take 20 minutes to
get. I don't know, it's weird.
20 minutes to catch your wind in the games.
You've got the legs, haven't you? You're fucked.
That is the worst.
But on the game itself, disappointed.
What way?
The game.
Oh, yeah, right. I quite enjoyed it.
Nah, disappointed.
What do you not like?
I was really looking forward to it. I think these two have been back to their best. Thought it was a lack of quality. Wanted to see fights. Goals. Who
would you like to have seen fight?
Just get fucked in
the two sides.
Porteous and Halkett.
And Halkett.
Oh, mate, I tell you what.
What a scrap that would be.
I thought
Halkett was one of the strongest.
I thought Halkett was good.
He was good.
That's good. Maybe he feels a wee bit debriefed sometimes.
See, I thought Hearts played. I watched the first half. I thought Hearts were good.
I thought the second half for about 20 minutes, Hibs struggled to get out. The start of the second half to about 70, say. But you're looking at the players. There's a lot of good players there. Suter, Nisbet, Halkett. I thought the wee boy was excellent in the middle of the park.
Very good.
I thought he was excellent in the middle of the park for Hearts. Boy Joe Newell was excellent, I thought.
So you thought two midfielders and two centre backs?
No. What I'm saying is, I don't think Suter was good. No. I don't think Nisbet was at his best at all. And because it was on Sky as well, I was like, you want to show the English what we know about. Yeah. I just didn't think it got to the heights. Maybe I was expecting.
I thought it was probably a good game for the neutral, but I think it was a typical derby. It was end to end. It was frantic.
Yeah.
I think both teams could play better, definitely.
On the ball, yeah.
Aye, 100%. But I thought a draw was probably a fair result, to be honest. I think both teams had spells. Hibs had a few good chances the last 10 minutes. We've got a couple of great chances. Gaz usually puts the one away at the start of the second half. For us, I thought Ben Woodburn, considering it's his
he's a player, mate.
Considering it's his second start.
Like Woodburn.
I thought.
See that one he hits in the first half, mate? That is clean, innit?
What a hit that was. It was moving like...
Brilliant, mate.
It was leading up to that, though. It was his movement, touched, opened his body up to receive it again, at his feet, bang, proper striker.
I think
Gaz Mackay-Stevens flipping raging after it for missing those chances.
He should have scored.
Bloody hell, Gary.
He should have scored it.
He's better. He's a good finisher, mate.
Imagine
very good finisher, Gaz.
Mate. That's goal season if that goes on his weak side. But Craigie Gordon.
Mate,
what a career, mate.
To
still be playing like that after the football career and snooker career he's had.
How's keeping that going?
How's his hands must be wrecked, mate, playing snooker.
He was man of the match for me. He saved, I can't remember who it was, if it was it McGuinness or Boyle, the one that was cut back and he's whipped far. I was right in line with that in the stand. That was what a save that was, man. But I actually thought, so like you're saying, I thought Porteous, Suter, Halkett, I thought all four of them had a couple of mistakes within the game, but I thought they all played really well. But I like that about Halkett. Halkett made a couple of mistakes in the first 10-15 minutes, but just he'd on the game, and after that, I thought he was excellent.
Good defending his box.
I agree with Joe. I personally thought Joe Newell was Hibs' best player.
Yeah, I like Newell. Newell's a very good football player, isn't he? I thought Hibs are good, not all good on the ball, but see under Jack Ross, they work their boys off, man. See, in terms of following runners, the dirty side of the game, I think Hibs did that really well in the which before he came, that's the last thing you would class Hibs as.
We put a magic with Boyle, wasn't it? Ran by Benny.
Was that the one in the first half?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I don't know if I like Boyle up front.
I thought we handled Boyle quite well within the game. I thought it was 2-3 moments where when he's got time and space to be direct at somebody, he's obviously absolutely rapid. So they got 2-3 chances for it. But
do you think it was a wee change with Jack Ross to try
Where did he go? I was kind of rough. So
they went 5. They went 5 at the back, didn't they? So it's obviously to probably match us up because we.
Did they go 3 right? A big edge, 3 centre backs.
They were like a sort of 5-3-2. I think the boy James Scott, they played the first half was sort of in the 10.
Yeah.
And then it was obviously Boyle and Nisbet up front.
Was there any wee indications that Jack Ross and Nielsen would have a wee fight with each other? No. Any wee scuffles to the benches? No.
No, I don't think so.
No. Two good looking boys at the side of the pitch, innit? Like a next catalogue or something, wasn't it?
That's a good standard, that. Enjoyed that.
Who do you think took the better dressed? I'd go Jack Ross, to be honest.
I would rather go for a Nielsen look.
Would you, right?
Aye.
Scruffy.
Like a motorbike, innit? It's like that though, innit?
I can't even remember what it was well, mate, to be honest.
No. Is it
What
got
was
a
it,
motorbike, you know?
No.
Was it Heart, Sacks?
I love Sacks.
I love Sacks.
No, listen, it was maybe I was just... I think it was a big build-up, wasn't it?
Derby's on...
No,
9 times out of 10
just
the same,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That derby needed a goal, and it would have probably would have went. It might have been a 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, whatever it was. But both goalkeepers were fucking dynamite. Like, see that save,
Macy was
and the
good,
boy
wasn't he?
Macy.
See the boy Macy's save from
Macy Gray.
Hanlon's.
Oh, what a save.
I mean, see when you slow that down, that's proper. That's proper. But I think like Nisbet for me gets into some great positions. I think the one that's cut back to him in the first half, I think he probably could have done better. See the one in the second half, I'm saying to Slatey, when he's been played in and he's waiting the ball, and then he cuts it back. Just go and get the ball and shoot. Because if you shoot across the keeper, say Craigie Gordon palms that, you might get somebody incoming that might. I don't know. I just think that as good as Nisbet is, there's certain things that if he was to sharpen up on a wee bit better, I think that would take him to the next level. I think.
One big man.
It's not because it's easy for us to watch it when you see things slow down and it's you in the moment able to make that right decision, and he probably thought when it's come through it's maybe too tight of an angle, so that's why I cut it back. But I would like to have seen him go get the ball and hit it across Craig Gordon low and hard. But a 0-0, two teams, I think Robbie Neal said after the game, to be sitting second or third in the joint second in the league, whatever,
the fixtures they've had.
5 games in, fixtures have had. What a start.
Probably a fair result, to be fair.
Talking to CEOs and owners and that, I honestly thought Robbie Neilson would bring on Anne Budge's daughter with 20 minutes to go, but it was Barry McKay.
Oh, wee Miley Cyrus, aye.
Robbie Neilson caught that all day.
So he did Miley. Good signing, Tony.
Aye, mate, Baz will be a very
good
signing for us. I think that's what we needed as well. With
Pedro was sitting in his shoes going, wee Robbie.
Wee Robbie's playing left wing, what a boy.
But where will Barry play if he comes in?
Probably one of the front three, I'd imagine. Arguably on the left, because he's always like one of the players that wants to come inside and play. But I'd say, to be fair, considering he's not played for a few months, I thought he'd done well when he came on. His first time to touch the ball, putting a good ball for Gino Cedar. But work rate as well.
Yeah, mate, what the one he's chasing back?
And it was Boyle who's tracking back, who's one of the quickest players in the league, but wee Baz is quick as well.
Technically, excellent as well.
He'll be a good player for us.
Robbie Neilson, I'll tell you, the recruitment
been good,
been excellent, isn't it? Woodburn, Mackay, Benny centre park, really.
Mate, we had. I must say, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we had the majority of the squad. Not the majority of the squad, but we had like 5-6 young boys in the squad who, with all due respect, are good prospects, but they probably need a long spell to go out and develop and improve. But the weekend there, we had Jamie Walker and Aaron McInnes, who like not even in the squad. Walker scored 50 odd goals for the club, and every day in trainings could be one of the best players nearly every day. Aaron McInnes obviously played a lot of games for us as well. So
I just shows
Blackie's phoning Jamie Walker. What the fuck's happening there, eh? You want me to come down, eh? So he'll be like, what about the wee boy that played left wing back for you? So brilliant, isn't he?
Oh my God, what a shout that is.
For me, myself, and
Don't show that, I'm taking that tomorrow.
He's done it. Wee Whitey for me, myself and Irene, man.
Oh my God, Whitey. Chalky.
Brilliant.
Now, can I say something? The best thing about the weekend was, did you see the tussle with Brown and Watt?
Brilliant, mate. That's because Brownie was Kane and Andy, wasn't it? That's why Tony was so
injured. Would you say that?
Fuck, you say that about him?
That was amazing, mate, wasn't it?
Tony was so when Brownie was at Celtic, they always had a wee hang as well.
I've heard for a source that there has always been a wee hang there, aye.
I need to see this.
And it's
good, mate.
But do you know what I loved? Because Brownie will do that with everybody and do it, but Tony Watt was brilliant because he kept going. And then he backed
because other people would shite it for him,
which is brilliant.
Motherwell flying by you.
Wait, Motherwell.
Brilliant. That Van Veen, he is outstanding.
Well, again, Open Goal need the credit because a lot of people don't know is that he is the Dutch scout for Motherwell. Yeah, that's why frequently over in Amsterdam.
I've seen him there.
You spotted him at traffic lights?
At traffic light.
Red light?
He was excellent.
At red light, you said?
Superb, Simon. He really was good there. No, I brought him in, but my God, that was... that wee bit with Brown and what was? Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
Tony's grown into a man, isn't he?
Two of them are like what proper gave him it strong, and to be fair, Brian probably won in the end because he's obviously slid and got the ball, but.
But what Barsden did?
Barsden did after that, didn't he? But even when Aberdeen scored, mate, Tony ran right up to Bruni. See it?
Aye,
and there was also a moment in I think it might have been the first half where Tony Watson down in the box and he's chopped back inside and then he shot, and I think he said something to Bruni afterwards, something like...
no, Tony missed the header and Bruni was carrying him.
And then when Tony chopped Bruni back and shot, Tony Watson said to Bruni something then on the way by when he chopped him.
That was dealt with Bruni, that one.
But supposedly Bruni wasn't happy with one of his movie reviews. I think that's how it started.
That's Plaster 4, wasn't it? I watched that, it was shite.
You told me to watch that.
Aberdeen were poor.
Although they were poor, they did have a few chances now.
I know, but see defensively, Simon, that goal, the second goal when Devines crossed it in, and not one of the big centre halves wants to go and head that ball clear.
Yeah. I know we've given me a bit on here, but Constantine's a miss for Rabbit. See, in terms of defending your box, mate, that's what
he does. That's what he does.
Mate, I think Constantine's a lot better on the ball than people give him credit for as well. I'm not saying he's...
But he's told you that.
That's well for
that. But I think he's better on the ball as well.
What a decision for Stevie Glass to close V-Dave. I'm still not winning a game since.
You called that. You said if that, you get beat there and then it goes on and on.
Momentum keeps swinging the wrong way, and that's what he's done.
I was surprised though, because what I will say is Stephen Glass has proper changed their style of play at Aberdeen, and when they are playing a lot better football.
After the game and all.
Style-wise.
His boys are just not play. I love
that.
But see, to be honest, right, Aberdeen fans can't really complain, because they were disappointed with Derek McInnes, even though they were winning a lot of games, the way that the style of play they've got. Stephen Glass just came in and they're playing a better brand of football, so when you get what you ask for, obviously they still need time to gel with a full squad. Listen, they're still, that 8 points with 5 games, they're not in a horrendous position.
Is that not their first defeat of the season in the league or something? So.
But to replace Andy Constantine with Craig Brown at centre half, it's never.
Why is he doing that?
I think Craig Brown was at a house party with Alfredo Manella the other day. I can't believe it.
See on the sub story, I forgot. I've told you that with Mike Grella, haven't I? I've never told you. I've told it ages ago. Do you remember Mike Grella played down south, Leeds and stuff like that? What a guy, mate. American for New York, never gave a fuck. Paul Hart was like that to him. Paul Hart used to always send you for warm-ups. Go warm up, go on, you're going on, go warm up. Come back. No, I sit down. 5 minutes. Like, go warm up. I'm like, I'm just fucking back. So Mike Grella gets it one day. He's like to Mike Grella, right, Mike, go and you warm up. This is like 60 minutes, Mike Grella's like that. Right, out, warm up, came back. He sits for 2 minutes, mate. Paul Hart goes, Mike, go and warm up. And Mike Grella has to go like that to him. Right, gets up, goes on, warms up again, comes back. I'm sitting on the bench, mate, and I know he's got a short temper. Paul Hart's just in the door, so he doesn't know what Mike's like. Sitting again. Mike, go warm up. Yo, I'm fucking warm, bro. Best shout of all time. Paul Hart did not know it. Called him bro, mate. I love that. I'm fucking warm, bro. We need to give a mention as well. Charlie McGrew tamed the wolf. You questioned him on the Cooping show. You said that
could he tame it?
Did he tame him?
What was the score in that game, sorry?
The only consequence of taming the wolf is he's got bite marks on his arse. But we're not sure if they're the wolves or Tams. But no.
Wait, that's it.
No. Clean sheet for the big man.
I know, but
still got it.
It's a draw that will end that game.
Think so?
Do you think Tal will be despondent?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Despondent? Is that the right word?
You're quite good at that, by the way.
I can't do
that.
Is it? I was just
checked it.
I was just. He's even checked the dictionary of words to make sure that.
Got it right.
You would have been Ed when you grew up, wouldn't you?
Aye, maybe a wee bit, but.
Menapeak, wasn't it?
Oh, aye, Bergos all day, 100%.
You're not your words.
Your words are good. You've been decent recently.
Is Tammy down at your house?
No, I don't know. Just every now and then you'll see a word and you think, what is that?
Well, you miss a teacher, innit? So
I miss it. She's clever. She's clever.
See, can I just ask, going back to the Watt and Brown one, have you ever had any players in your team in training that gone for each other in training a lot? It didn't really go on, but I know one, but I'm not going to say the two names.
Why? Stop being a shite bag, man.
No.
You're at St Johnstone now, you're away from Celtic.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I wasn't there.
I know who it was. It's the Swedish boy at Celtic and somebody.
Mastorovic. No, Mastorovic had him on toast.
I had me on the guy.
No, it's Bruni and somebody, but he doesn't know what to say.
No. Do you know who had it when I was there? Tony Watt and Dylan McGeoch.
Oh, did they, right?
The two young boys coming through and they used to like smash right into each other training. Brilliant to watch. Did you know Steve Morelos and
I've got one. No, I've got one. It's actually Bruno Alves and Jordan Rossiter.
Did they? What had he been?
Every day, mate. Well, every day that Rossiter trained, obviously it was. But it was because
he's damn under it, not in it.
Mate, Rossiter was out for fucking 6 years. Came back first day of training. Bruno Alves put in the worst tackle I've ever seen in training. And like he used to smash people in training. Some of his tackles, some of his tackles were ridiculous. And Jordan Rossiter never said a word, mate. Bounced straight back up 5 minutes later. A 2-foot lunge scissor. It was. I tell you what, Bruno Alves was up tackling 10 minutes later. Brilliant, mate. Unbelievable. And then every day after that, two of them would just smash each other.
Brilliant. Bruno Alves would kill him, wouldn't he?
Mate, he was fine. See, technically, by the way, as well.
Who? Rossiter or Alves?
Alves, ridiculous.
He kicked him on,
ridiculous. Honestly,
tried a few.
I think it was obviously fucking. Capsule's got for Portugal and that, but I just never. Just in games, wasn't he what he couldn't do what he usually does.
What, had his legs gone?
I wouldn't even say his legs were gone, no, he just...
What age was he then? 39 or something?
No, 52 I think.
52.
What about you, any players, big one?
Big Jig was he didn't have any like beef with anybody, but Big Jig, see if anybody took the piss at a Big Jig in training.
Smash him.
Smash him.
I told you a story about it.
I remember a young boy, was it me, what was his name? Andy Mitchell. Nutmeg Jig, and everybody started laughing. And like, as you do, hey! 2 minutes later, fucking Andy Mitchell walking, limping into training, into the physio room. Jig just lifted him 2 foot in the air. Bit of respect, son.
I think Cal Nutmeg cut Broadfoot his first day training with the first team. Said cut Broadfoot's chest in for 30 minutes.
And what did Cal say?
So you could just feel him. Cal says, mate, I've made better players than you or something. Cal's about 14 at the time.
Make better players than you. That's brilliant, isn't it?
I don't like players that go about smashing people and trying to hate that, but I do like if there's a tussle with two players together.
I'm the same, mate. I hate that. I'm a big person, I train the way you play, but you don't go about smashing your teammates in training. Especially if somebody like Rossiter's had injuries left, right and centre.
Did anybody ever get annoyed at you at training?
Annoyed? No,
do
you know who I hate in training? Need to get to it, sorry. Toe stampers, mate. People that stand on your toes and that.
The worst, mate. See the
guys that rap with the pressing and they stand on your toe every day. Oh,
horrible.
Because I've got gammy toes. Tell it if you got gammy toes.
The worst.
A lot of footballers have got gammy toes, haven't they? I've got them, so the worst feeling in the world, man, is people that stand on your toes.
Scrapers. That's kind of like, isn't it? Scraper.
Did you not have any tussles with anybody?
In training?
Because you're quite mouthy, aren't you, in training? Not mouthy, but...
You thought it was someone...
Nah, me and Paul McGowan used to argue all the time, remember you guys, because he was obviously angry as well, but never fighting on it.
Neil Collins, I used to fucking fight with him all the time, just like argue constantly on the training ground during matches. I just couldn't take to the big guy. Nice big guy, like, nothing against him, but just see, he used to shout at me for not doing things right, and I used to fucking shout at him, and the two of us used to be shouting back and forth at each other, and I was thinking, you fucking shut up.
I hate the players that only smash weaker characters as well.
I love that. David Brent.
That's shitbag material, that's killer material.
Yes, Andy, I like
you
that.
just go, you smash
shitbag, I love it.
You smash younger players or you smash boys that won't do anything back in that. No get time for
Barry Robson would smash you, mate. Like elbow you.
Don't like that.
Oh, but he was like that in games, you know what I mean? He was like fucking...
To be fair...
He had the ball, mate. He'd be running with the ball and he'd be...
he was bad for elbows.
Bang, but you're trying to get the ball back, mate.
he would do it to anyone though, wouldn't he?
Robson would do it to anyone, Lenny was like that, mate. See if you were close to Lenny just go bump.
I don't let me remember at Celtic Park. Lenny passed my old midfield at the Celtic Park.
Ross Wallace was bad, mate. Wallace, who I grew up with at Dundee, looks like a wee tricky winger, mate, but Wallace was a nasty wee bastard, man.
I like that though.
See, like, see if you got close to Wallace, mate, he would just fucking dunt you, man, all the time. He gave Mikey McGlinchey one of the best elbows I've ever seen in my life. Stratton sent him up the road. Mikey was getting, because Mikey just broke into the first team. Me and Mikey were time in the first team at the time. Mikey came on as a sub, kind of similar positions to Wallace. So Mikey goes to press Wallace one day and Wallace just goes, fuck him, mate. And his face just fucking burst, man. Mikey was like that, wide.
Let's see Andy Millen.
Andy Millen,
he's playing for St Mirren, I think, right? He was defending a corner for St Mirren. Ball comes in. Before the ball comes in, Craig goes at him. Wrestles him a wee bit. He was like, you did it again, we'll crack you.
Who, Millen said that to Craig?
Craig went in again, cracked him, flared him.
Did he?
Flared Craig.
What, Andy Millen flared Craig?
Andy Millen was... See him, he would be the nicest guy ever chatting to you about tactics and how they want to play and all that. But see the minute somebody didn't do something right, holy shit.
Andy Millen was the title for me, innit? Barnett was fucking brill creamed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pure old school football player. Not even Copas, mate. What were the fake Copas?
The
Mundials. Mondials.
No Mondials. You're thinking of
Kaisers. Kaisers are called. You know the Kaisers, isn't it? Shorts are pulled up to his nipples.
That's you. That's going to be yourself.
He is genuinely probably one of the best guys in football.
I think in terms of his coaching and stuff, he does a lot of the A, B and pro license courses.
Yeah.
And everybody says the same about him. But he's had a good run at it. He would be a guy I would go for advice.
You got to war with him.
You got to war with him.
Aye. It's a few of them, but
who would you out your career who's inspired you would say like, I would run for a brick wall for them? You, Shai?
I'd say I couldn't really answer that because there'd be a few of them, but I'd say if I had to pick one player where I'd think big game in the trenches, that's the one I want. Clint Hill would be up there.
Wouldn't he?
He's a hero, Clint Hill.
I played against Clint Hill years ago when he was playing with Crystal Palace, would it have been?
Because, mate, hang with Clint, right? He's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's no pace, but he'll match you for just sheer desire and like stick his head anywhere. Mate, he came to Rangers at like, what, 38?
Yeah.
And he done well, mate.
And he jumped a bit with a name like fucking Clint.
Exactly.
Oh, that must be tough.
Did he not get in a fight with Jibril Cisse?
Oh, mate, that story is brilliant. I don't go. Him and Jibril Cisse. Did he done him? Clint Hill done it,
Was they playing? Was it against?
On training.
On training? QPR?
QPR,
Wow.
Love that, innit?
What about you?
What player?
Like you were like, love to.
Jonathan Douglas, mate.
Was it, mate?
Played about Leeds.
Were they, aye?
See if you played a good game. He wouldn't really talk to people. He was like quite standoff. He would say if you had a good game, I was playing centre mid. Next time he used to come up and go, that was a fucking pleasure to play with you. And you feel like, thanks. Really great, mate. Do you know what I mean? See that?
Well enough.
Well enough, mate. We beat Leeds 3-0 at Swindon. He came up to me after like, you were fucking outstanding today. And I was like, thanks very much.
That means a lot more because he doesn't say a lot.
Say a lot, whereas other times so he
I'd say that's quite similar to Gerrard. Like Gerrard doesn't really praise people like individually, but if there's been a big performance or a big performance for you, like he'll pull you, single you out or something.
You obviously never had that.
No, never.
No, did he give
But do you know what I mean? See if it's managers who don't really praise you or don't really they criticise, but if they never really give you praise, when they do give you praise, it's like, fucking hell.
Mick McCarthy was like that. Mick McCarthy would never tell you were unbelievable. He would just come up to you and hear a couple of words in your ear and say, look, I need you today. And then if you fucking went out and had a decent game, he would say like, cheers for that.
Would he say thanks for that?
He would say like,
that shout though, didn't you?
Or a wee quiet one.
Need a big one for you.
That kills me. You do it before me every show. What about you, Kevin Kyle? What about players you play with that you
run through a big wall with?
Kevin Ball.
Oh, I've heard about him. He's meant to be hard.
I didn't actually play with him. I don't think and just did the odd reserve game and stuff. But he was just what he maybe didn't have an ability wise. He had in everything else. He was fucking a proper captain, leader. Had your back, looked after the young team. Come and get you like the youth hostel and stuff. Take you out for your lunch. Make sure you're all okay. Made sure everybody was okay. And then seeing on Monday youth team games. He would go into the youth team and ask the two managers, how did the kids play at the weekend? And they'd say, tell me truthfully. And then he'd fucking maybe grab and say, hell, Rick says that he didn't perform very well on Saturday. So you fucking say, like, you'll be here any longer, son. It just made you want to go and do something work out your game. That's just the way he took a genuine interest in everybody in the club.
What about you, Paul?
Rabou Ibrahim.
Who?
Rabou Ibrahim.
Who the fuck's that?
Rabou Ibrahim. Actually, like
Rabou Ibrahim.
Rabou Ibrahim.
I don't even know who that is.
Two of the best reserve players ever. They got undervalued. Actually, like two were unbelievable together.
I've never heard of this guy, man.
Two were unbelievable.
Where did he play, Paul?
Two of us were on the same
wavelength.
Unbelievable. Rabou Ibrahim the two.
What, both Horney?
Aye. All the time they changed them. And
try to get off each.
Similar age to you?
Dave Frail had the players together. No, we were brilliant. Aye. Same when I said the two were like warriors at the pitch and obviously got missed, is it like? So maybe ask the coaches who missed it because they were excellent together.
Brilliant.
And two that have great career.
Wait, I wanted to ask you, was there a time that Gerrard done you? Do you remember a game that he came and said, brilliant, Andy?
No.
Aye, couple to be fair. I think my very, very first game with him was, what's the name? Maribor away. So like, obviously I was nearly out the door as I told you, and then he came in, sort of spoke to me, like the way I trained, like the way I was about the place. So, but even then I was still just on the bench, I hadn't really played. Then it was, who was it? Was it somebody? It was a suspension or an injury to about 3 players that meant we had no left back. That obviously he thought I was a centre mid at this point. He said, I need you to play left back, Maribor away. I think we 1-0 for the first leg or something like that. And then it was 0-0, clean sheet, played well. And he sort of like singled us out after that. Ufa was sort of another one, to be fair. There's obviously that video where he comes up and grabs me. The Ufa game at the end of the game, I think he's a kiss and fucking started getting off his middle of the pitch. It's weird. But I saw a couple.
But it's amazing how much like somebody who you're heavily influenced by, when the day come and hear that word for you, so i.e. Gerrard, maybe me, Mick McCarthy, or you, maybe DeCarney or something, and they hear that wee word, you do fucking raise your levels a wee bit, don't you? 100%.
I tell you what, I remember one, but remember Braga when Rangers were 2-0 down at Ibrox to Braga?
Yep.
And Borna Barisic came off injured, and then Joe Aribo went on left back. And Joe Aribo scored that fucking wonder goal where he, after the game, he came in and he was like, Joe, come here. Stood up in front of all the boys. He's like, I will take you anywhere. He was like, I'll take you anywhere. Doesn't matter where you play, doesn't matter if you're dropped, doesn't matter anything that's asked you, you give 100% no matter what position you play. Joe must have felt on top of the world, man.
But also, the shite, because he gets a Liverpool job. Imagine Joe phoning him and he got Liverpool like there in my call. He's like, fuck, who's this lad? Go and play left back.
I remember that one.
The Canny, mate, see if he'd done well as well, like he'd come in the dressing room and he'd grab you and he'd be like, yeah! And he would
keep on.
Fucking help me, I'm scared.
He would just stare at you and you'd be like, I remember thinking, you are off your fucking nut, man. But see the look he gave you, mate, you're like, that's amazing, man.
That's like Mourinho vibes, that,
yeah.
It's like Mourinho seems like that type of guy.
Do you know, I think though, see when you don't play well, it's the most heartbreaking feeling when you let somebody down that
you feel as though you let somebody down.
Yeah, you've let them down.
Aye.
That's the worst.
Just that look in it.
Aye.
They don't even...
It's about a Barry Ferguson, that as well.
Is it? Fergie do that,
More like, if you let him down, like you feel like...
He hates me.
Because you try to fucking...
It's amazing how certain individuals have that effect on people.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know Barry Ferguson that well, or only a couple of maybe even 1 or 2 games in the national team, but he made me feel like that. See when you balk him up to see if he didn't get a good touch and get back to him, or if he didn't make the run that he was asking, and you just fucking look at you and you're like, oh shit. But it was like, knowing him, it's like, it's just because he wanted to win.
He was player manager when I was at Blackpool, but his ankles were fucked, so he never ever played. And we had a couple of bad results in a row, but we actually felt as if we were playing well. We just couldn't get results and couldn't score at the time. And he was coming up, and after games, he was criticising us like, you're shite and that, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, because we had a bad run, he was like, right, I'm playing the next game. We're playing Leeds at Ellen Road. He's like, I'm playing, like, my ankle, like, starting out or whatever. And it was me and him centre mid, and we battered Leeds at Ellen Road, right? We get beat 1-0. And he came into the change, he was like, boy, see everything I've said the last 2-3 weeks? He's like, I apologise in that. See being on the pitch, he's
a good player.
Seeing how much he's want the ball, seeing how much he's demanding it, he's actually trying and stuff just isn't going for us now. He's like, keep doing that, we'll be fine. And that's brilliant, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you realise that the boys have actually tried to do everything you're asking us, we're just not getting the rub of the game now. Because we couldn't score at a period, we had about 8 strikers. Like, Goody, Ricardo Fuller, Chop, Malky Thompson in the hole. It was like, how are we supposed to score? We just couldn't score it.
Do you know who I try to impress every day? Maloney.
Oh, did you? Aye.
I like Sean a lot.
Aye, I would.
Sean would always give me advice, mate.
Aye, he was amazing. And it meant a lot because he wasn't that. He was a proper guy and proper
top level pro, mate.
Aye, and top player. So when he came to give you a wee bit of advice, or
Sean was good to me. I remember on the bench at Tynecastle and Sean, I think Stratton asked Sean to play when he wasn't fit, and Sean was fuming, man. And he was like that to me, and my ankles was set at the time, and the reserves were trying to get me to play. He's like, don't fucking play.
Aye.
See if you feel anything, do not listen to them, do not be pressured, do not play. He was good like that.
Yeah, very good.
Like near the first team player would care if my ankles were set around.
So just play.
I thought, see, that's weird, that's strange. Mate, I see the amount of times in my career that I've played when I know I'm fucked. Like, exactly. Injury-wise, like, I know like, I'm not fit here, but you just try and get through it. And you actually look back at the end of the game, it's like, why am I doing this?
Because you're getting judged, mate.
And you're almost like, you're letting the team down, you're not fit. Like,
and so later on in your career as well, it could have a big effect on you, can it?
100%.
In your life as well, actually.
See when you take the injections now, I've had about 20 injections, my kid.
Like in a few years, you don't know about to walk, you know what I mean? No, it could be like that, but...
Yeah. Because even with, again, mention them, but the camera used to make me get epidurals in my back to play games.
I had a couple of them.
And then see the next year I posted to me, I played about 12 games that year because I was fucked, man.
I think you need to be, I think players do need to be careful. I think when you're in that moment, you feel like, oh no, I need to play here.
Yeah.
But you don't, you need, especially younger players, I think, when they've got the whole career ahead of them.
So was your hip saying you would still play?
Aye. No, actually, because I had to get surgery after that.
Right.
No, I did actually, you're right. I did, but then you don't do yourself any justice either, but don't you know?
No.
Because I actually done it a season. Remember I told you, so see the pre-season game before we played Peterhead, the first game of the season, mate, I couldn't walk, my back was killing me.
Yeah.
I played in this friendly and I'm like, mate, I can't even move. And at the end of it, you're like, I've just let the team down here because I can't even do my job.
I think I'm shite.
There's always that feeling of, I could probably get through it, and like you say, like Slaney, you had the hips problem, same as me. I'd played 50 games or something for Sunderland in the Championship, and then the next season the hip went. And Mick's saying, like,
you hit wind?
My hip went. No, my hip
went.
He
says a hit wind.
My hip went, and I was like, he says, you beat to get. So I didn't train, but I was turned up on a Saturday to play, and I think I played the first 7-8 games of the season, but was never anywhere near the guy that had finished 50 games the season before, and then ended up going for an operation. I was out for 18 months, and you think yourself,
why did I do that?
I just went for that operation at the beginning, I wouldn't have been out for that, and then it's the same, a lot of pressure, because you think, I probably could get through it, because there are certain injuries where you can think, I can shake that off, but down the line now, fucking hell, I can getting out of bed and stuff, it's horrendous.
See, as a young player though, like, that can be your chance to make it. Yeah. Going to play, so if it could be playing, do you know what I mean? So,
mate, see what you're saying, right? We were, see, when I was leaving Swindon, I'd met Lee Clark. Cads was at Birmingham. Cads phoned me, says, Lee Clark wants to take you to Birmingham Championship. Buzzing, mate. I was playing centre mid. New manager came in, played me right mid, fucking hopeless right mid. Brought in 3 Tottenham boys who played centre mid. So we were playing in the playoffs, and Cads like, I think Lee Clark's coming to the games. My back was fucking killing me, right? Killing me. I'm like to my agent, I'm going to be playing right mid tomorrow on the telly with my back fucked. Should I say I'm not playing? And not throwing in, but say I can't play. He's like, no, you need to play. It's the playoffs. You'll be fine. Mate, went on, played twice, wasn't 100% fit, played right mid, had a fucking shocker. Tried to phone Lee Clark or somebody's like, beat it.
No, I know.
Killed him, mate. You could be playing the chat. Your career could be totally different, eh?
100%. But with MK done as well. Didn't train for 6 months, went down there. Couldn't get a game, but see after you come back for the loan.
You've not done well.
Couldn't play. Couldn't get a game for MK done, so I got to play here. I think as young players you do need to be careful. It's no. I wouldn't say, listen, you know yourself when there's injuries you shouldn't play through, or there's wee things you maybe can. So just keep a wee eye on it.
Do you think in the modern game at the top level, they'll allow you to play through the pain?
No, I think top level, if you're struggling,
physio's not new. Different.
But mate, physios would that's what used to do me as well, especially lower league level. Physios would be like, no, you're fucked, you can't play at the weekend, there's no way you can play. Gaffer comes in, you and the physio are sitting, he's like, see, alright for the weekend? The physio's like, he's fine.
Aye.
Come on, you just fucking told me I couldn't play.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, shit yourself with the
Shit yourself with the Gaffer.
I think of my time at Rangers, right? I was there, and then I think I got maybe 12, 13 appearances as a sub, and then eventually McCoy says, you're getting a start this weekend. I thought, fucking buzzing, that's me, I'll kick on. Played 4 starts, I think I scored 3 goals. And in the 4th game, a ball went over the top and the goalie's coming out to meet it. I'm bearing down, I'm thinking,
is it one?
No, I think if I jump first, I'll head this over top of him, it'll get in for a goal.
Yeah.
Fell, landed my ankle, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, that was really sore. So I get subbed off with 2 minutes to go. And then didn't train the next week, because in my head I'm thinking, this'll heal up, I'll be all right. And I don't want to come out of the team. Went out and trained on the Friday to see how I would be, you're strapped up and all that, and it was, I said, nah, I can't do it. I ended up going for a scan 6 weeks later, and had a fucking grade 2 tear. My ligament was nearly hanging off. But here's you trying just to try and keep in the team. But people don't see that side of things.
Yeah.
And like you say, when you're a young kid, maybe like Slaney, when he'd all the injuries younger, you're trying to play through the pain bar to try and make a name for yourself in the game.
Yeah.
But it actually doesn't.
It's like you said as well, like people watching the game, fans, telly, pundits, they don't know that as well. No. But you'll still get judged on that performance. So
worst shit when you're a young kid, mate. You had this. You've had that because we've spoken about it. After you've been injured for a while and it's not getting any better, the manager pulls you, do you think it's in your head?
Oh, aye. Yeah.
What? Oh, my fucking ankle's killing us. What are you talking about my head?
Aye. You told us that one again. Was that Jonathan Douglas at Swindon with the cannon? Started calling him the doctor or something?
No, Tommy Miller.
Tommy Miller, that's right.
We're so thankful, lads. Not only do we have a midfielder, but he is also a doctor. It's fucking unbelievable, isn't it? What about Duncan Ferguson? He actually took that wee boy. Remember, he made the video saying, I heard you've been slacking, lad. He actually took him for lunch.
Witherspoon in a minute.
He's been my hero.
Tap water, you know, getting tap water, 3 courses of dinner.
He's my hero, and everything he does something that's just like becomes even bigger hero. I just think that's in life, you need a wee bit of inspiration, and that kid's obviously got something for Big Duncan to follow it up, because we've said obviously Slaney to many people will get you 2 tickets to Hydro, not a chance.
Never hear from him again.
Never hear, so Nah, it's fair play to him.
His mass texted me saying, Paul says you're getting me 2 tickets for the Hydro. You know you're getting her?
No chance.
Who are you getting your 20 tickets to? Liam Gallagher. Tennis coach.
Jerry, innit?
Judy Murray.
Jerry, aye.
Judy Murray.
Judy Murray's getting a couple.
She's coming straight for her chief executive of Celtic.
Tying that one like
She's into the last three, isn't she?
Well, we've already spoken about players. What about coaches that inspired you? You said Gerrard, actually, we've spoken about it.
No, but is it...
We've covered it. Lenny was about that there. Lenny was about that.
Youth coaches though, a big Drew Todd. Do you remember Drew Todd?
Drew Todd was good, right? He loved the Revelino, didn't he? Revelino turn. He was all about technique, Drew Todd. He loves it, didn't he?
Loves the old KNVB.
You ever heard youth coaches where he felt they were better than actually the first team coaches? Like,
aye.
See that guy you were talking about, Kevin Ball?
Aye.
See no still the youth coach at Sunderland?
He was working in the back.
I remember playing Sunderland Reds a couple of times and he was taking them, and even on the sideline and that, he was good, to be fair. I'm sure, did he not get caretaker role as well at one point?
I had a good youth team coach, Pop Robson. I think he was like, scored hundreds of goals for like West Ham, Sunderland, Newcastle. He was like, one of the best English players never to get capped because of the era he was in. But see him, I always felt that he knew more than everybody at the club. He was a striker, but my God, man, what a guy to learn off of.
Mate, the era you were in with Celtic, everybody, the boys say Tommy Burns.
Tommy Burns. Mate, see this Guardiola coming in off the lines, Phil. Mate, we were doing that at 14-year-old for 3 hours a night. He was a genius,
just grateful
mate,
to get the opportunity to him at Scotland squad. What a person to meet. Brilliant.
Everyone talks so highly on that, even as like a guy in that. But him and Liam close, they were like dead close, weren't they?
I told you, mate, that me passing it out. I was playing 2 years above myself, so with Charlie's team. First game for under-19s, I think it was 16 or something. Kept the ball the full game. Thought, fuck me, what a game after I came off. He's like, you think that's good enough? And I was like, what? He's like, played like an old fucking man. Passed the ball back to me. Like, I brought you up here because you can play forward and you can run with the ball. You want to play like that, you go and play with the fucking under-17s again.
Superb.
And you're like, wow.
Aye.
But anyone else would have been like that to me, amazing, man, brilliant, what a player. No, that's not good enough. Even with Aidan, mate, like, he had told you the story where Aidan's like that to Kerry McDowell. You understand why you've came on this trip? And Aidan's like to him, no, I'm much better than him. And Kenny fucking cracked him, and then Tommy found that out. And Aidan's like, but everyone wanted him at Man U. And Aidan's like, you spoke to Kenny McDowell, like, what? He's like, done with the under-17s for 2 weeks. You're not even training with the 19s, never mind the reserves. Aidan might have to train with the younger team for two weeks. For the best for Aidan.
See when Strachan was the manager, and obviously they two didn't really get on, Tommy was built with Aidan in, wasn't he? I can always remember.
Aidan tells you the story that Strachan was like, you're a circus act. Called Aidan a circus act and then walked out, and then Tommy came in after it going and then Tommy would like grab me like that. Fucking £15 million circus act, son. Didn't listen to what he said. So it was a good balance. He was a genius. See, with people, he's a genius, mate.
Wow.
For how to deal with people, he was just
unbelievable. Stack was just so dry pan, wasn't he? Like, he could make you feel that big, couldn't he? But it's funny, mate.
Aidan would be screaming back when he'd be like, there he is, he's chipping up, not listening to a word he's saying, he plays well in pre-season. He's a pre-season player, and he'd be like, what about the Champions League? What about They two were brilliant.
The Stratton hits how you said they can make you feel, but did he also have a side that made you feel brilliant? Or was he really
but even like, it was just so funny, mate, wasn't it? Like, you would laugh at, I told the story on here before, I think, when I had first signed, I was sort of in the first team, training with the first team, but sort of playing a lot of games with the reserves. We had the reserve going doing recovery in the gym, and he's always on the cross trainer, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Stack was on the cross trainer, 8:30 in the morning, and all the reserves are sitting doing their stretching foam row and that. Resi coach comes in. Oh, Stacko, how you doing? You had a game last night, Stacko? He's like, no, I had a yogurt in the fridge, it was going out of date, so had to stay and eat that. Right? So the Resi manager must be thinking, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? That's the way he was.
See what you're saying, like, no, we'll give you praise all the time, but see if you've been training the first team, he walked by in the corridor, he went, have I told you you've been doing all right? And I'm like, no, he's like, right, you're doing all right. And then walking on, all right, thanks. But just at the fact that but he beat every reserve game, mate, every youth team game. I'd been out for 2 years, got sent off early against Big Charlie, was playing for Aberdeen. He was sent to mid, I was sent to midfield. I don't know if he was running through, but somebody was running through and I was putting them down and red carded. My first game back after 2 years out, 17 minutes in the dressing room. But we were going to Carbon that night. So I've got in the dressing room and I'm fucking fixing my hair in the mirror after I'd just been sent off.
Sure.
Full strip still on, mate. I didn't know that he was on his way down. He's standing staring at his fix. He's like, the fuck you doing? What you doing? Fixing your hair in the mirror. And I was like, oh fuck knows, my head's just went a wee bit. But then he was like, listen, don't worry about it. red card, it's fine. He's like, fine, don't worry about it. We'll get back to training tomorrow. I think the next day I went and trained with the first team, mate.
See,
they wee hings, mate.
They're massive, mate, aren't they? Wow.
He was good. He always used to say that to me, you'll be alright, you'll be alright.
That's it.
My ankle injury, I told you that. So I'd be on the bike, mate, slogging it out. Been out for like 2 years, watching training, demoralised. He'd come and sit on the bike next to you and you're like, pure awkward. Like, you'll be fine. He's like, even if football doesn't go well for you, you'll be fine after it.
Was that your personality?
You'll be fine.
Mate, we had a young boy, so I was at Middlesbrough, like, you'd have a different young boy really every week, and there's a boy called Kyle, I can't remember his second name, but he trained with the first team, he had an absolute shocker, right? So starting in front of the boys, like, right, usual shout, were you out last night? He's like, no. He's like, you sure? He's like, no, I swear I wasn't out. After training, he went up, we gave him like 50 quid, I went like, go out tonight. Because you can't train worse than that. you can't train worse than that if you go out tonight. So have a good night tonight, come back to tomorrow.
But then he had the other side, Cads just told you, we were training at Celtic Park, like the fans were there. So it was like a fan day, you come watch training, and Cads went out wide right and couldn't cross the ball, man. He kept, like you, kept hitting the first man. Strike went up to him like that. This is too much for you, just in you go. How's your arse after that, mate?
You'd rather get slaughtered, You'd rather get slaughtered, mate.
Then just start a
cross bodies though, man.
Oh, mate.
See when the manager, like, put it right here. Put it here,
I think they should try to get that banned for training.
Strike joined the boxes with you?
How good was he?
Amazing. Outside
Still
of the
fit as
flick it. We went to a man game, mate. He was unbelievable in the boxes right for a week. I remember I gave the ball away in the box and I went to grab the bib and he's got the ball and he's just standing. And I was like, is he going to start? He's like, he's just staring at me. He's like, I was like, what you did? I'm like, what? He's like, what you did now? Like the boys are like, play man, he's just standing looking at us, mate, like, and you, like you say, mate, you're like,
mate, do you know
I just thought I played it there and he's like, just shaking his head.
See, for about a year, mate, I'm not even joking, I had a tactical ploy in my head. See with the boxes, what boxes to go in and not to go in. So see if it was like me
Champions League box,
senior player, because sometimes the manager let me join in. I went through a wee stage where I would wait at the back for them not to fill in. That can be but that can be the worst thing. Because then the boxes can fill up. Yeah. And you
somebody's like, you're in here.
You're in that one. So then I started going in first and just praying. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it?
The boxes were, mate, that was your first start of it.
How good the boxes?
That could determine your full session, mate. See if you had a beast in the boxes with the big players, mate, you were gone for the rest of the session, man.
Rangers boxes, McCoy would join in and he was still fucking good too.
Was he? Was he good in the boxes?
Not Megan, you know that, and you're like, oh God.
This could be Ryan here, right? But was McCoy's, was that a lot of pressure on though?
Nah, McCoy was good. He was good at the shooting drills. So see when you would join in the shooting, he says, fucking hell, I'm nearly 50, man. I'm still scoring more goals than you boys. And you're like, oh God. But he was still technically, obviously couldn't move, but he was brilliant.
Strachan's negative play one's the best in me, isn't it? When he passed the ball back, full training session, so I done it once, he's like, stop! Give the other team the ball, negative play. I mean, he's fucking just done that at the full session, man. He's like, brilliant, Lenny, the full time, man. I don't know, I honestly I'd love to ask him if he just done it just to kind of, would you think it was just character building?
He's that type of guy. I really liked him.
So did I, he was good. I liked
you don't realise at the time as a kid what they're actually doing to you.
I thought his training was excellent as well. His
training was brilliant. Did you do the Friday thing where you had a partner? And one would run out and you would pass them and you would need to flick it up for a volley and you were in two teams. On a Friday we used to do that, mate. He's not going to do it. I know he's not going to flick it up. And mate, you couldn't, see the times when he was on you actually couldn't, I'm talking about somebody who'd roll the ball you for 5 yards, just had to flick it up. But you'd be that nervous, mate, that you couldn't have flicked the ball up. It was fucking intense, man.
I don't think you would have ever got nervous, mate.
But with Strachan I did.
See that when we Strachan say the negative play, but do you think he's doing that for the rest of your career?
Probably when I'm Lenny's age at 35, you would think that was alright, but for being a young kid, like Tommy Burn's probably similar, innit? Stop playing like an old man.
Wow. Amazing. Golden.
You didn't realise at a young kid how much that are probably trying to affect your mind.
It's a psychological thing. They're trying to make you understand, because you know yourself, see the minute you get to that first team dressing room and you get called up and you're in, you can't deal with the shit that you're in there with. That's the whole point of the character building, isn't it? Because there's no dressing room like a first team dressing room when you're a young boy. You absolutely shit yourself.
What a shout that is.
You're even scared to take your clothes off to make sure you fit in. Your body's alright, your cock's the right size. Oh, big man, I give that thing a shave. It's just, it's the whole thing. You
never listen to that, did you? Because you're still there.
I'm old school. It's just the whole thing. And then
Bob Marley in a Thylock, innit?
When you get older yourself, you end up doing the things to the kids that they've done to you.
Yeah, I know, that's what I went with Peter Egg boys now. When you're getting on them, mate, it's not because you hate them and you're on them, you're an arsehole. It's to try and help them, isn't it?
Big Bob, remember Big Bob Malcolm and me? Don't make me don't shag birds with that wee thing. Wait, first trip I went with the first team.
That's unreal.
When I met Bob last week at the golf, I said to him, I says, what was Slaney like? And he says, what was he like? He says, he was never there to find out what he was like. He says, he just guy never turned up.
Somebody did tell me yesterday, Kenny Conley was asking for you.
What's he?
You knows you as well, didn't he, Ken?
Yeah.
Good guy. He says that you, at Motherwell, you won every sprint test, every...
Unbelievable. Different fitness test, speed test, ability test if you had that.
Personality test.
Personality test, aye.
Personality without.
So were you fit as fucking quick, yeah?
But see, as I said, that was my game, mate. Fast, but ability.
That's because you and your dad used to play tig all the time at the back, the tap stuff.
I don't know, I was some player. Some player.
So what, would you beat all the first team players in that, sprint test in it?
Aye, at the club.
I never realised you were like that, like a proper athlete.
Because you've seen me do this a little bit, haven't you? I've always been out of shape or lazy and you know what I mean?
Right, last few bit lads, Mourinho, 1,000 games, what a guy. Did you see him last night when they scored?
I love him, mate. Love him.
He's a guy you'd run for a brick wall for.
100%. I went through a period where I used to, Chelsea's my English team. I don't support Chelsea, but I've got family down London that like Chelsea, so I loved him when he was there. Some of his interviews and like some of the stuff in the antics and that brilliant. I love when managers are characters. It's probably not enough for him in the game. Yeah. But then when he went to Man U, he just looked a shell of himself, didn't he? Like he was
free. Respect.
I
love that. So that was good.
But he was constantly blaming people. But I thought he was hanging his players out to dry in every interview.
Billy Blake Shaw.
Oh my God! Still does, mate. Still get a hang of it.
He's still like
100%.
But was he only doing that to Luke Shaw to make him stronger than that?
Maybe, mate. Aye. But the one member he actually finally played a decent game and he was like, no, he was good the first half because he was on my side.
And I talked him through the whole game.
Bad the second time he was on the other side.
He was, but some of his stuff that he comes out with was good.
It wasn't even, but see, you see he's a genius in the media, but I do think Man U, you like what you coming up with here. Do you know what I mean? But he is a hero, isn't he?
He was the first tactical manager I ever seen. Like, see Ferguson and that, was always 4-4-2, just kind of go and play.
He changed it.
He changed football, didn't he?
It's the way he spoke about it, I think, when he did his media things and his comedy and stuff, he would talk more in depth about football rather than just say like the old cliches that Ferguson never went through. He would actually talk about it. But the guy just, he believed in himself, eh? That's what I always found when he had that self-confidence that he knew he was going to be a top manager.
See the interview when the journalist asked him, so like people say you're a defensive coach. That is one of the best interviews I've ever heard.
What was that, Mourinho?
Oh mate, have you not seen it?
No, I've not seen him.
It's amazing. He was like Porto were a counter-attacking team because we had this guy quick, blah blah blah. At Inter, we were a defensive coach because I had players where I could give you 4 hours and you wouldn't score against them. At Chelsea, we scored 100 goals in a season. How could they be a defensive coach? At Real Madrid, well, this team, and he explained every team he was at and why they played this style of play. Because, see, at the end of the day, I say this all the time. See if Pep Guardiola takes Everton Job Demora, they ain't playing the way... They will play the way they play because that's just Pep Guardiola. But they're not going to get the same level of success. Jose Mourinho would do... He would have a style of play at a team if that's what he believed is the best chance of success. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's not. But
please tell me you've seen Louis van Gaal's interview with that.
Absolutely amazing. The guys.
You don't know football. He says you're a journalist. He says what you do is very good. You're very good at it, but because the guy says Liverpool are defensive, and Chelsea are a defensive team.
He went, you promote defensive football because you like Chelsea and Liverpool. So he's like to him, what do you think, Liverpool your defensive team? And then he just started going, put the guy in his place, didn't he?
The pie was laughing next to him, wasn't he?
Was he?
The pie was laughing next to him.
But that's true, like see the Van Gaal thing, like there's too many journalists get a place in the media, on the telly and stuff like that seem to think, none of them's ever played football at the level they're interviewing or talking about, so I don't get how they're able to have a voice, write a story.
Yeah, a manager would have go, why the manager never go, what do you know? Why do you think that never happens?
I suppose it's not their job in it, no. Like for their point of view, they're trying to wind the manager up though, aren't they?
See the sad thing is as well, right? Journalists could print a headline, in a story, and the country will just run away with the narrative. They're just brainwashed by media. There's so many people that will just watch they'll probably not watch, say for example, the Hibs Hearts game. Somebody could write, this Nisbet was horrendous. Match report, then the guys that haven't watched the game, this was brutal. That's just the way the nation is. There's so many people that just
happened to me,
run away with a story.
Tell it.
How's that not?
This wasn't even true either, was it?
No,
the
headline was an absolute disgrace.
We'll get to that though.
We'll get to that.
That's us, lads.
Superb.
2 more shows and then it's 13,000 faces.
Wow, it's going to be
Some
wild.
And there is a big announcement to be made.
Special, it's going to happen. It really is. It's going to be the night of. I think it could be.
Do you think you'll sleep the night before it? Well, you'll be dry-eyed in the mattress all night, won't you?
I'll be non-stop that. But that'll be.
I'll be non-stop on that.
That'll be. I'm not just saying this. There's been a lot of unbelievable acts at that Hydro, but that will be the wildest night.
What other? I don't know what to call us. What other? You want to say a podcast now? Rockstars could bring this person to a live show.
I don't think anybody. I really don't. And the facts prove that.
Aye.
Stats and facts.
History would show that this guy's never been really anything we're going to bring him to.
No.
Brilliant.
Oh, by the way, that was golden.
That was great.
That was good. Proper old fit with chat.
That was golden today.